He essentially told the police a web of lies regarding things they were packing, items they were taking or not taking, even indicating that there were messages between him and his parents while they were gone. That all, he alleged, occurred on the 2nd of July. Eventually, Mr. Halderson, obviously on the 7th, then reports his parents missing after they've been gone for 5 days at that point, and an investigation is started.
What a story here. The ultimate betrayal. Chandler Halderson is accused of murdering his own parents, not just killing them, but dismembering them and scattering their remains all over Dane County out in Wisconsin. This is a brutal case. Here he is. Here's the defendant. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, he may be wearing a mask during the course of the trial. I don't know if the jury's necessarily going to see him, but what was going on here? What are prosecutors going to allege is the motive? I don't know if we've heard anything about that yet. But let me show you the victims. There's mom and dad. And the story apparently from Chandler Halderson was that his parents went to their cabin for the July 4th weekend. But prosecutors say they were already dead, and he was busy getting rid of the remains and then told them a whole bunch of lies. I want to show you another piece from his bond hearing. This, again, is shortly after he's been arrested in July of 2021. Chandler Halderson appearing, and the prosecutor talking about some of the evidence in the case. This is the next live trial here on Court TV. Opening statements are scheduled for tomorrow. Let's watch.
So back on July 7th, Mr. Halderson made contact with the Dane County Sheriff's Department reporting that his parents were missing. In that contact, Mr. Halderson made a great deal of statements indicating where he thought his parents were, sending police essentially on a wild goose chase throughout the state of Wisconsin, looking for them with an unidentified couple. He essentially told the police a web of lies regarding things they were packing, items they were taking or not taking, even indicating that there were messages between him and his parents while they were gone. That all, he alleged, occurred on the 2nd of July. Eventually, Mr. Halderson, obviously on the 7th, then reports his parents missing after they've been gone for 5 days at that point, and an investigation is started. In working on that investigation, police made contact with a great deal of people who had contact with Mr. Halderson in that time period between the 2nd of July, which is the last known time anyone has seen Mr. Halderson's parents, and through the day that they were making that contact. A witness that personally knows Mr. Halderson and has seen him on many occasions, who lives in rural Dane County, reported seeing Mr. Halderson's vehicle with him in it, parked in a kind of an odd location near a wood line on their rural property. She did report that to police when they were speaking to her. That reported date that Mr. Halderson was at her property was on July 5th. Police were able to search the wood line by this, where the car was parked, where he was seen walking out of the woods and getting in the car, and they did find the remains of Mr. Halderson's father. The remains, unfortunately, have been dismembered. We only found portions of Mr. Halderson. The medical examiner has positively identified the remains as, in fact, being Mr. Halderson's father. In performing an autopsy of what was available, they were also able to confirm that the cause of death was homicidal violence by gunshots. So at this point, we have an extremely complex investigation. We have a defendant who had 6 days essentially to hide evidence of this crime and lied to police in the course of this missing persons investigation, which he instigated. He has lied dozens of times in the course of this investigation. He is now seen leaving the area in which the dismembered remains of his father were found with gunshot wounds. And police are obviously still engaged in an extremely broad search for the remains of his father and, of course, his mother.
They found his mom's legs in another area of the county and positively identified them. This is, it's gruesome, but, you know, what is motivating this, and will this be enough evidence? I mean, from where I'm sitting, sounds pretty strong, right? You're at the scene of the crime. There's got to be some explanation for that. I don't know what the explanation is going to be. Let's bring back in our think tank. Teresa Jean-Pierre Coy, Kesia Early, and Michael Bixton still with us. Casey, let me ask you a question. If Chandler Halderson is your client and he comes to your office or you visit him on the inside if he's locked up and you have that first conversation, what kind of questions would you have for him?
Well, I'll start with the background, how his relationship was with his family, because if there's any question of his mental capacity, then obviously I want to get him evaluated so that if he is declared incompetent, then he'll receive the proper treatment until his competency is restored. It takes a special type of person to commit a murder, but it takes an even more special type of person to not only kill their parents, but then take the extra step of dismembering the body. So as a defense attorney, you want to look for those red flags to see if all the circumstantial evidence is pointed towards your client. Is there something more that could have possibly caused him to commit this crime that could be a defense at trial? So definitely look into his background as well as any closely connected friends or any possible motive in preparation for a defense.
Michael Bixon, I'm trying to anticipate what the defense could potentially be here. I don't know, we've had a string of self-defense cases here at Court TV, but mom and dad, are you going to allege self-defense? I don't know, somebody else did it and you just happened to be there? Are you going to attack the eyewitness testimony? Where do you think the defense is going to be, what the foundation of that defense is going to be?
I think the one thing that's clear is that they're probably going to be highlighting the fact that this is definitely a circumstantial case, at least from what we've seen so far. And granted, as the trial unfolds, we'll definitely learn a lot more about it. We know about the lies. We know about there being a gun being found and bullet casings. So there is a lot of circumstantial evidence here. Whether or not they're going to exploit any other type of defense, whether it be self-defense, whether or not, there is another party to be concerned about, whether or not he has an alibi, that obviously remains to be seen. But so far from what we do know, I do think that it's absolutely certain that they will, at the bare minimum, be exploiting the fact that this is a circumstantial case. And while it is possible to convict someone on that, obviously those aren't the best cases.
Teresa, I'm a former prosecutor, but even when it comes to eyewitness testimony, I have to be convinced, because I know if something happens and 4 people see it, you're going to get 4 different versions of it. So I always take it with a grain of salt. I need a little bit more than just eyewitness testimony. But this eyewitness testimony is really troublesome. If he is, for some reason, in some strange area near the wood line, and it just so happens that's where they find Dad's torso.
Absolutely. I mean, it is, something to consider. And, the fact of the matter is, if you have a case and you have to explain away every single fact, usually that's not a really good case. So I also am waiting to see what the defense is going to be in this case, because, quite frankly, the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. I think that, even the testimony of I think it's his friend who talked about giving him the guns and all the ammunition and then doing the ballistics and then finding the bullets at the house. It's a very strong circumstantial case. And as far as eyewitness testimony, one of the witnesses actually knew him. And they took the initiative to call out to law enforcement after they saw the interviews to say that they'd seen him on that day. So I think his behavior at the time, combined with all the other circumstantial evidence, is really a really tough road for him to kind of go through. So I, like my colleague said, would really look into some mental health issues here, because it takes a special person to commit a crime like this.
Yeah. Also an Eagle Scout, by the way. We'll figure it out. We'll have opening statements tomorrow morning right here on your front row seat to justice, and both sides usually lay out what their case or what they believe their case is all about, so we will find out.